Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, Backshot Boxing. Nah, man, Terance Bud Crawford, man, considered now number one pound for pound fighter in the world, man. Big dog, fighting all these big names, man, and he's been stopping them all. Now, all that being said, man, he's gonna fight former 140 unified champion, former WBC champion at welterweight, Danny Swift Garcia, man. And if you guys didn't know, man, Danny Garcia and Terance Crawford fought multiple times in amateurs, man, and they always had a big rivalry. Now that Danny Garcia, has fought Keith Thurman, and he's taken time to, just get himself together and think where he's gonna go in his career. He decided he'll make a comeback, man. Not only that, he said that he'll come back and fight Terance Bud Crawford. He think that'd be a good fight for Terance Crawford. Now, I'm going to get some quotes for you guys. My boy Danny Garcia says, and I quote, "Me and Terance Crawford is a big fight. We have history. I feel like he needs somebody like me," right? And that's Danny Garcia talking about Bud Crawford on Fight Hub TV, man. So this is a really big deal, man. Terance Crawford has been on a complete knockout streak, right? He's been knocking guys out left and right. And last time he did it, he became undisputed when he knocked out Julius Indongo. Now, I'm going to name these fighters back to back. These are consequential fights. They're in order. So he knocked out Julius Indongo, KO'd Jeff Horn for WBO title, knocked out Jose Benavidez Jr., knocked out Amir Khan, knocked out Kyle Velasquez, knocked out Kell Brook, and then knocked out Sean Porter. The guy has been knocking guys out since 2017. He's been knocking out guys for the past 5 years. So Terance Crawford is a hard hitter, man. He's going all in. You see the thumbnail. I got him in the picture with Andy Ruiz, that toe-to-toe Mexican style type thing. Terance Crawford used to box a lot more earlier in his career. Now it seems like he's just going for the kill, man. Terance Crawford is a dog at the end of the day, and he believes in imposing his will on you, right? What makes him so dangerous is when Terance Crawford starts stalking you, it's all smart aggression. He can come forward while minding his defense. Now there is risk. He did get dropped against Kyle Velasquez coming forward, but as soon as Terance Crawford got hit with that power punch, man, Terance Crawford lost it on Kyle Velasquez and just dominated him and destroyed him like a round after. He dropped him a couple times, and I think the next round he stopped him. So Terance Bud Crawford, man, has been on a tear. A lot of people talk about how Kell Brook was over the hill, yada yada yada, when Terance Crawford stopped him. And then Kell Brook just stopped Amir Khan. A big deal. Kell Brook is seeming to go on to bigger and better things in his career. A lot of people are talking about Kell Brook versus Chris Eubank Jr. They're talking about it's a lot of big fights for Kell Brook. They're talking about even a rematch with him and Amir Khan. Amir Khan said he wants one more shot before he tries to move on with his career. So, Terance Crawford, man, beating guys like Kell Brook, who's still a big fighter because, like I said, he stopped Amir Khan, right? So, there's a lot of just underappreciation of Terance Crawford, but he's already undisputed at 140, and he's a heartbeat away from doing the same thing at 147 if he can get past Terance Crawford, which would put Terance Crawford on, the GOAT list right there. That's a GOAT list type stuff. There's only been 6 undisputed champions, and, Terance Crawford is one of those few men who are undisputed. So that all being said, man, Danny Garcia, at welterweight, he was always seeming to me a small welterweight, but now if you look at Danny Garcia, he's looking chubby in the face. He definitely grown into the weight, if not thin when he fought Keith Thurman. He's definitely big now. You can't tell me that all that inactivity didn't make Danny Garcia gain natural weight to make the 147 division. Not just make the division, but to have power in the division and be a natural 147 fighter. I think the past fighter that Danny Garcia used to be is not the same fighter than he is now, because he hasn't fought since Keith one-time Thurman, and that was a very long time ago. It's shocking that Keith Thurman actually, last time he fought was Errol Spence Jr. But that was in 2020, at the end of 2020, but I think he's grown into the division. I think he's a bigger fighter now, and we're going to see how this whole thing plays out, man, because I'm really, keen on seeing Danny Garcia again. I think that once he took that L against Keith Thurman, man, I don't know, I don't see the passion in his eyes anymore. But I think that he definitely can come back. Terance Crawford can definitely make this guy get up and go for broke, because this is his last chance. He already fought a champion in Errol Spence Jr., right? Errol Spence Jr. is fighting Dennis Ugas, right? Danny Garcia is, if he were to fight Terance Crawford, he would fight 2 or 3 champions as of right now. And those champions are going to be only 2 champions soon, because Errol Spence Jr. and Dennis Ugas are fighting each other to become unified. So that means there will be only 2 champions left in the welterweight division. And if Danny Garcia can't beat either of these fighters, what's next for him? He could only move up to 154, maybe fight Jermell Charlo. But Jermell Charlo is a big dude. A lot of people, doubt Terance Crawford even versus Jermell Charlo, just because he's so long, lanky, and he has power, knockout power, and he's extremely fast. And Jermell Charlo is just, he's unique, because his first part of his career he was a boxer, and then the later part he became a power puncher. But if he still wants, he can box you. That's the thing about it. It's a weird, unpredictable style, because next thing you know he's boxing you, and then next thing you know he'll just go wild on you. So Jermell Charlo is a wild card. I would never want to fight that guy, because he's just unpredictable. Usually fighters have a certain style and they stick to it. Jermell Charlo is schizophrenic, just like his personality, man. It's bizarre, it's unpredictable, and you never know what might happen. So that all being said, man, I would like to see Danny Garcia versus Terance Crawford. But like I said earlier, Terance Crawford's been on a knockout streak. Will that be Danny Garcia's, would that be his fate? Danny Garcia has never been stopped before. Now, he does have losses. He did lose to Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, and Errol Spence. He only has 3 losses, but he's never been stopped before. He just has losses. So, what will happen? What will happen? God knows. But if history were to repeat itself, Terance Crawford would win. And if Terance Crawford is that pound for pound #1 guy, he would do it spectacularly. The best spectacular way you can beat somebody in boxing is by KO. So let me know you guys feel about it, though, man. Danny Garcia, man, he still got bombs. He still got that power. He still got that wicked left hook. Hopefully, maybe he gets a better trainer, man. His dad got him to where he got to, but I think at this point, at this stage of Danny's career, he needs just a new trainer, man. He needs something fresh. It's not that his dad isn't great, but they're both comfortable. They're already rich. He needs somebody who gets paid to do their job. Sometimes when you get someone that's not family, they take their job seriously, because their money is not tied to their son's money, i.e. Danny Garcia and his father. His father knows that Danny Garcia is not going to leave him destitute, so it doesn't matter if he trains him good or not. He's still going to get paid, or he's going to get the money regardless, because that's his son. He gets another trainer to train him. His career is on the line, and usually these fighters, when they take a L, they drop these trainers. So it reflects on them to make sure these fighters look as best as they could. So I think it's going to be a big deal, man. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen between Terance Crawford and Danny Garcia if that fight happens. But Danny said he's interested in it, and that'd be a good fight. And he said that Terance Crawford needs him. I think that's a bold statement. I think that's a good fight for Terance Bud Crawford and Danny. I think this would be a big deal. Danny is from Philly, and maybe you can bring it to Philadelphia to really sell the fight. I think it'd be a big deal, man. Let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Geobus Empire. Geobus.